She's coming on Instagram. Yes, I'll be on this side. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. I don't have a song. What's my song gonna be for today? I don't have one. He's a good father. Hey, Caleb. All right, y'all. So we're about to get started. We got YouTube. Welcome to my YouTube and Facebook family. We have TikTok. God bless you. And we have our Instagram fam. So we're gonna. I see our guest is our midwife for the night is already on. She is ready. I'm telling you, it's about to be a time. It's about to be a time. Do me a favor, you're on TikTok. Just tap the screen, share it with somebody. Instagram, share this with somebody. I'm telling y'all now, tonight is about to be phenomenal. I believe that there is going to be not just a word, but God's going to show up. I am relinquishing all control. I know our midwife is relinquishing all control, and it's like, Lord, have your way. Tonight, we are talking about preparation for birthing, right? There is something happening in the atmosphere. And as we're preparing for Triage 2023, one of the assignments that I know that God's given me to do is to help women birth, not just dreams, but visions. There are a lot of women who you just really, hey y'all, my TikTok family, you are just believing God for greater. You're believing God for more. And I believe that this is a year that you are going to rebuild. Although you weren't responsible for what broke you, you weren't responsible for what took you out. You were not responsible for the hurt and the pain, but you are required to heal. And I'm just excited about tonight. I'm excited about what God's going to do. So I'm not going to prolong the process. We're going to bring up Miss Rebecca Watley. Let me tell y'all about Rebecca before I bring her on, y'all. So I came across one of her videos and I was like, oh my gosh, she is so dope, right? Literally within a few, maybe like I want either a few hours or the very next day, I saw an inbox from her. She was like, oh my gosh, I love your page. And I was like, wait, I just saw your stuff. And so when God laid on my heart to ask me to be a part of Triage, I knew without a shadow of a doubt that it was going to be a move. I knew that there was something that God wanted to say. So we are going to bring the woman of God on. Y'all prepare. I'm telling y'all now, it's about to be crazy. It is about to be bananas. Hey, Bree Essence, God bless you. Hello, Joshua. Let's see. Is it on? There we go. Hey, girl. Hey. Look at you. Look at how you looking. Look at how you looking. Period.
What's up, man?
How are you?
I am tremendously blessed and so glad to be here.
Amen.
So glad to be a part of what you're doing. So glad to have this conversation with you. I'm honored. Hey, everybody.
Hello. Listen, I was just telling them how, like, you and I have not even met in the natural yet. It's just literally been everything via social media. And so I'm excited that when God laid on my heart to actually be a part of Triage, I'm like, okay, Lord, I know she is coming with fire. She is coming with thunder. Like, she is coming with power. And so tonight I want to just have an open, candid conversation. One thing that I've learned within the last year, not even within myself, but women that I've come in contact with, is that this thing where, well, I know my purpose, but I don't know how to do it, or we're scared to position ourselves to really give birth. One thing that I do remember when I was pregnant with both my children, it was like, the doctor was like, listen, you can't have this baby, on your side, curling up. You got to position yourself. And so tonight, I want us to really help those, not just those who will be in attendance for Triage, but even those who are on tonight that know that there is something great on the inside of me, but I need help. I need to be in position to push. Hey, Turquoise, my good sis. I love her. She's going to be there too. You have to meet Turquoise. I love her. So I want to just talk tonight. But before we even get into that, I want you to introduce yourself. Let the people know who you are, what you do. Because you wear many, many hats, woman of God. Like, oh my goodness, you wear many hats. So I just want to just give them a little taste of who prophetess, apostle, preacher, teacher, sister, mother, just who you are.
Yes, hey guys, I am Apostle Rebecca Watley, guys. And let me tell you, most of all, I am a daughter of God. I am a daughter of God, and I'm so humbled to be a servant of God, one that He has chosen to carry out a great work, to preach His word, to assist His people in life, to give hope to the hopeless, to bring awareness that freedom is for everyone. So it's amazing to be a part of this army, to be a part of what God is doing. Also, guys, I have a lot of hats, like the woman of God says. I have Rebecca Watley Ministries, and it's so much that entails in Rebecca Watley Ministries. But one thing about we want the women and men of God to know that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and that your difference is dope. Your difference is beautiful. Your difference is unique, and there's only one of you. So if there's only one of you, don't water down God. Don't hurt God by trying to be like somebody else. You are enough. You are significant. You are precious. You are a necessity, and you need to know that. Also, I have Becco Enterprise, and that's where my whole line of business comes in. And I love what I do, guys. I am a life coach. There's Becco's Coaching Agency. I have my own makeup line, Becco's Beauty. I have Becco's Wig Factory. I sell hair. So, and I have a plus size consulting agency and a plus size boutique. So there's a lot that goes on. I'm a daughter. I'm a sister. I'm a friend. I'm me. I'm unapologetically me. And I've overcame and made it through a lot. So yeah, I'm ready to help birth that.
Listen, can we just go? Hold on, cause see, you still got me, and I am enough, and your difference is dope. I think that's one thing that we as women, not even just women, men, period. Because see, my friends got me together, right? And so I'll say it again at the end, but I'm even opening this up to men, right? Because one thing that we don't realize is men, real men of God, amen, real husbands, real partners, they labor through that process with you. They may not be the one on the bed, but they're the one that's supporting you, that's undergirding you, that's helping you go through your delivery process, right? And so I'm gonna say that towards the end, but your difference is dope. You said a mouth word with them few little words. Because I don't think we realize how dope being different is in a world where Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, NoTube, ThereTube, everybody wants you to look like somebody. Everybody has relation. Oh, I want to be like so and so, but you don't even realize what it took to be in that position. You know what I'm saying? And so understanding that who God created you to be, the difference that's on the inside of you is just as dope as the next woman.
Absolutely.
My God.
Take ownership. Love you. Love the good, the bad, the ugly. Embrace that part of you. It's so much power in embracing who you are. Own the way to change. Whether you want to change, alter, do whatever you need to do, you can do it. But still, accept who you are. Love who you are. You are not a mistake. And I had to digest that, and I had to let that resonate, that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. God said it. No matter what you say, He did at one time. But now that I know what God says is permanent, and that He doesn't change His mind depending on my mood, or whether I'm doing this or that, but God says it's final. So I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation. I am the head and not the tail, above them and not beneath. I am what He says, and it does not change, even when I want to change.
Girl.
Period.
That's it. Ain't no comma, ain't no that's it. Ain't no semicolon. I am what God says I am. And one thing that I tell women, God looks at you from the end of a thing. And so we're literally trying to catch up with the word of God. And sometimes we get stuck in our process, right? One thing when it comes to women becoming pregnant, that there's an encounter in the natural that you have with a man. And many of us have had encounters with God, and we go through our first trimester. Oh my God, I'm pregnant with birth. God gave me a dream. He gave me a vision. And then you look at sister so-and-so because, oh, she's carrying her all nice and high and her business is thriving. And you look at sister so-and-so and, you know, oh, she sold out in 15 minutes. And you sit here and look at your baby like, wait a minute, I still got to pudge. But you are still in process too. My first trimester may not look like your first trimester.
Right.
And I tell people, and the way that pregnancy is broken up is by like weeks. So like there's every 3 months, right? So me and my first trimester at 2 weeks, if you're in 8 weeks, 10 weeks, we're in the same space, but we're not on the same page.
Right.
And we have to know that you, like you just said, I'm enough. What God has called me to be, I am enough. And I'm enough for the right person. I'm enough for the right friends. I'm enough for the right man. I'm enough for the right ministry. I am enough to be who God has called me to be.
Absolutely.
And so I want to talk about how we as women get lost in the process on the way to birthing, especially when it comes to this ugly demon. It's a demon too. I just, what I'm about to say, you'll be like, that's a demon. This ugly demon of comparison.
Oh, geez.
Ooh. I really want to talk. What has been your experience with women, with men, when they start to compare my baby to your baby, and my gift to your gift, and my call to your call? What would you say to someone to encourage them to stand firm in who God has called them to be, and to know that they're enough, and to know that they are a chosen generation, to know that they are called, to know that God's hand is upon me, whether I look like so and so or not? I look like who God called me to be.
It took me, let's talk about, you said some good stuff. First of all, what you just said just blessed me about pregnant. You know, when you become pregnant, a lot of times when someone want to be pregnant, they either see, it's either because they see a child that's been birthed, or they desire to have a child, or they see someone that's pregnant, and it looks like, you know, like, oh my God, I want to be pregnant. And once they become pregnant, once someone becomes pregnant, it's now their responsibility to care for what is on the inside of them. It's their responsibility to feed it. It's their responsibility to maintain it. It's their responsibility to go to the doctors. It's their responsibility to do the vitamins and all things that come with carrying a child. A lot of times when someone looks at someone who is pregnant and says, I want to be that same way, they don't understand the level of care it takes to maintain a pregnancy. So I understood, I learned as being a coach and being a mentor that a lot of people want to be pregnant with purpose, with destiny. That's it. They just want to be pregnant. The rest of the responsibility, they don't want to walk it through. They see someone on a platform that has arrived to a place. They see someone that is on a certain level and they say, that's what I want. I have that, but once they receive, they accept the call, they accept responsibility, that walk, they abort early because they don't know how to maintain it, feed it with the word, worship, fellowship, all of those necessary things that in order to birth a healthy baby, in order not to give birth early, to have a baby that is born early, you got to make sure that you, the carrier, is feeding what's on the inside of you the right nutrients. It matters what you consume. It matters what you watch, what you listen to, what you eat, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. What are you feeding you? What's on the inside of you? So I learned that it's imperative for me being pregnant multiple times with spiritual gifts, that it was sometimes I aborted because I didn't know how to carry. And then there was times where I learned from a miscarriage how to give birth properly and what I needed to do for myself. One of the things that I learned too is that I can't compare what I'm carrying. I can't compare it to Keisha or Kayla. because their responsibility is totally different from mine. Their responsibility is none of my business. My responsibility is to stay the course that I am walking, to do what's necessary for me, to make sure that I am safe and I get to my destination. That's my responsibility. No matter how green Caleb's grass look or Kim's grass look, I have to make sure mine is green. I have to make sure that I am watering what I have, that I am feeding it so that it grows and that it reproduces. Comparing yourself to someone else does nothing for you nor them. What it does is it makes you feel inadequate because you see someone that looks more further along than you. When on nationality, you can be at the same level, on the same pace. But if you're not aware of where you are, you can sabotage yourself. You can devalue yourself. You can make yourself see what is wrong with me. Why am I not there? And you have been there all along. Because a lot of times I sabotaged a lot of places, me, and I'm being honest. I sabotaged a lot because I didn't see what God had in me. I could see it for my neighbors, but I could not see what God had in me. They could see it. But it didn't faze me. It didn't even matter because I was too busy looking at them. Until I realized, Rebecca, you gotta stay focused. And it's not about them. It's about purpose. And one of the things that the enemy want to do, he want us to get sidetracked, and he want us to question our work so that we can sabotage the birth. He want us to question our work so that he can sabotage the birth of what God has put on the inside of you. You knowing who you are and believing what God says, I'm telling you, if Eve, and it makes me take me back to Eve, when Eve was in that garden, and the enemy said, did God really say? He put a thought in her mind of doubt. Did God really say? Did God really say? And today he's doing the same thing. Who told you you was anointed? Do you really think you can really go to the nations? Do you really think that you're called to preach and prophesy? Who are you? Do you know what you did 10 years ago? Do you know that you ain't married? And you know what you did? And the devil tried to sabotage the birth of what God is doing. God ain't going to change his mind about us. God is not going to change his mind about you, about who you are. Your responsibility. Ask Jonah. You can run. You can hide, but God does not change his mind. You are needed. So giving birth is personal. It's your personal journey. It's not about someone else who's pregnant who lives across town. Don't even do that to yourself. Don't allow the devil to sabotage you and mess with your mind. And I hope you hear me, because I allowed him to do that to me years ago until I realized I am who God says I am. And I am carrying something special. And it is worth the investment of worship, of feeding it, and of believing and walking by faith and not by sight.
You, at this point, we could just say the benediction and go home. But as you were speaking, what God brought up to my remembrance is when I was pregnant, right? I'm considered high risk because of the way that my womb is formed, right? And so the way that my womb is formed and my uterus is formed, when I become pregnant, I'm immediately considered high risk. And so with being high risk, I have to go to the doctor more than most normal pregnant women. And I used to get so mad, like, I gotta go to the doctor every week, and I gotta get picked and prone every week. But as you were talking, what God brought to my remembrance was this: there sometimes what you carry requires special treatment. Sometimes what you're carrying on the inside of you requires you to see the doctor more than usual, because see, I needed to deliver what's on the inside of you. And so I was seeing not therapists, specialists for my babies. I was seeing all kind of nutrition doctors, because they have to ensure you can't just walk this journey by yourself, but we have to make sure that you have the nutrients, that your body is adjusting to the change. And a lot of times we get so caught up in the adjustment part that we'll abort our own baby, we'll miscarry our own baby because we don't want to go to take the extra step. So some of us are pregnant with purpose that we have to go to God every. You have no choice but to fast. You have no choice but to seek His face. You have no choice but to stay at His feet. Why? Because what you're carrying is considered high risk, and the enemy knows that if she gives birth to this baby, if he gives birth to this vision, if they really become one and understand that God's called to be a power couple, do you not know the damage that you would do to the kingdom? So what does he do? He play on our mind. See, here you go, going to this doctor. I mean, y'all, every week I was going to the doctor. Even up until I shared this last week, even when I had my youngest baby, it was like I was doing okay. I'm going to my appointments and everything was checking out. It got to the very end, and that's where things started going crazy. And I want to tell somebody that's on the live tonight, don't wait until it gets to the end and you think that God's going to abort you. I literally got to the end of my pregnancy and all hell broke loose, because the enemy will make you think that what you're carrying is not worth delivering. But I came by tonight to let somebody know you are almost at the end of your pregnancy, and the enemy is coming to play with your mind. But I decree and declare that you will not abort, you will not miscarry, but you will understand that what you are carrying is great. And I had understood, okay, yeah, I'm pregnant and Sally pregnant, but see, she could just go because she may be stronger in the Lord than I am. He know, listen, daughter, you gotta stay in my face, because you know my spirit is willing, but my flesh is weak. Yeah. And so I had to every week go the extra mile and do something that normal women wouldn't have to do. And at one point in my pregnancy, it made me feel like I was inadequate. Well, God, why am I high? I looked at it as a bad way. But literally, as you were speaking, God said, I had you high risk because I needed more people to pour into you. I needed more people to undergird you. I needed more people to understand that what you carrying, my hand is on it. And so we can't look at what somebody else is doing. I went through that, y'all. I'm just being transparent. I went through a situation even last year where it made me feel like, well, God, did you really call me to this? I had people, I was a witch, a warlock, everything under the sun but a child of God. And it made me, I ain't gonna lie, I took a step back. I took a step back because it made me feel like, well, God, maybe you didn't call me. Maybe I'm not as anointed as people have said I was. Maybe you didn't really call me. Maybe I just answered the phone when you was trying to call somebody else, but I just have no. He called you. He chose you. He predestined you. And so you have to know and understand that what God placed in you, it was for a reason. You're not just pregnant with purpose. You're not just pregnant with destiny, but you are pregnant with the part of God that needs to hit the earth. You are pregnant with the part of God that it's almost like He put a gift in you, and you have to give that gift back to Him. Yeah. And you can't allow and one thing I think we get kind of sidetracked is when we start to hear people. Right? We hear, oh, girl, oh, you. I used to hate y'all. Listen, two things I couldn't stand when I was pregnant, and even now, as a 35-year-old woman, I stand at 4'11". Okay, everybody knows I'm a little itty bitty something, but in my head, I'm 6'3". You can't tell me no different. Yeah. But when people tell, oh, you so short, I know that. When I was pregnant, girl, you big as a house. Ooh, you can't. You cannot don't allow people to label what God gave you. Absolutely. You know, because people will look at you and they'll try to figure out, well, what are you carrying? Oh, you sitting high, it's a girl. Oh, you that's low, it's a boy. I'm carrying purpose. Yes. And I used to tell people, well, what are you having? As long as my baby is healthy. Yes. Whether it's a boy or a girl, as long as what I am carrying is healthy. But I had to realize not to allow people to label what God put on me. Mm-hmm. And we get so caught up in that. And I believe that where God has women now is that He is positioning us to become new age Deborahs, new age Lydias. Yeah, I love Lydia because Lydia was about that life, okay? Yeah. Lydia was a woman of the cloth. She loved the Lord. She was about her money. She was a businesswoman, but she was also the one that Paul and Silas went to when they left the prison, because she loved God for real. And there are women that God is raising up to be business owners, to be wives, to be mothers. But we have to position ourselves and not allow what life has tossed our way to make us abort purpose. I've miscarried not once, not twice. I've miscarried 3 times. And I shared this on Monday. It made me feel like I was not able to birth. But just because you miscarried or just because you missed the last step does not mean that you were not created to birth.
Right.
And that's what the birthing place is about. It's a place. The birthing place is a place where you can come and get what you need and give birth.
And you said something, Miss Jamila, that really, really touched my heart when you said that your pregnant, you were high risk. And you had to go to the doctor. You had to go to the doctor for every week. You had to do different things that normal pregnant women didn't have to do. But even when you were talking, I just heard the Spirit say, because she was carrying something so delicate, something so precious, something that needed extra care, and who would be tender with what she was carrying, who would look out for what she was carrying to make sure this time that not only does she give birth healthy, but that this baby is healthy. And woman of God, you did it. You did it. And I'm saying this in the natural, but I'm also speaking this to you, Miss Jamila, in the spiritual. You did it.
Jesus.
And you are doing it, woman of God. You are doing it. Even when the enemy was trying to stop you and even sabotage you, it makes you feel inadequate. You pushed, you pushed, you pushed, you pushed, and you gave birth. You gave birth, precious woman of God. And you will continue to give birth. You will continue to birth out women because you know what it feels like. God could trust you. He can trust you with this ministry that he's giving you, with this ministry of birthing.
Jesus.
Yeah. Many will give birth under you, woman of God, as you coach them to push. Many will give birth. Many will see healthy ministries, relationships, healing and deliverance because of you. It was necessary. Your process is necessary because of who you are. This is your time. This is your time. And God says, I have stamped you. I have approved you. Before you were born, I knew you. I ordained you for such a time as this. So be loud. Be unafraid. Be fearless. God says, I am with you. God says, I am with you. I have already prepared the place for you. God said, just spare not. Be not afraid to speak what thus saith the Lord. He says, I will not let you fall. And he says, I will not let them come nigh your dwelling. No weapon that is formed against you shall prosper. And every tongue that rises up against you in judgment shall be condemned. God says, this is my battle. He says, when the enemy comes in like a flood, I will rise up a standard. God says, let me fight. You stand still. He is with you, woman of God. He is with you, Jewel. He is with you, Rare Pearl. He is with you. That's why the warfare has been so hectic. That's why. Because of who's about to give birth. And the midwife that you are. How you're going to assist women. And not only that, who you have chosen to assist you with this is divine. Yeah. Jesus.
You just confirmed so much, even conversation I had today. And I was asking God, I'm like, one thing that God's been showing me is this mean girl spirit that's running rapid. And it's not just in the world, but it's in the church.
Yeah.
And I was like, Lord, I don't want to confront that but he kept saying, I'm with you. Mm-hmm. And even with you mentioning, the high risk, because even in that, I buried 2 babies, even being high risk. But both of my children that I have now came after that. And so even after the miscarriages, God still kept his promise. And I don't know what woman, what man needs to hear that, but God will still keep his promise. And because I realized that my sin is not in my children are the promise. Your sin is not in the promise. Your sin was the sin. That was it. And he forgave the sin. But his promise, he's going to stand by that. And to know my children is to know that they carry the glory of God. And you have to know that what you are giving birth in this season, in this moment, in this hour, that God is saying, my hand is on it. I don't care what they're saying about you, what they're saying about. There are about to be conversations that God's going to expose, not for you to try to come back, but so you know how to approach it. And I never looked at it that way. That I'm just, and my children are, I got a delicate one, and I got one that he is fire. He's fire. And the enemy tried to take him out from the time I found out I was pregnant with him. Because I made a decision. I told God, I'm not having this baby. Apostle, a lot of you not. I called my mama. I said I'm getting an abortion because I didn't want to have the baby with the man that I had just left. We had just separated, and I found out I was pregnant. I'm like, the devil is a lie. Nope. I made the appointment. The lady, they asked you all these questions, and I got to the place, and I got in the room, and Holy Spirit said, "You will not take the easy way out." Wow. And I cried my whole pregnancy. But to see my 5-year-old baby praying, declaring the word of the Lord, singing, worshiping. One day God said, you don't have permission to kill what I gave permission to live. You don't have permission to kill what I said live. And so now I understand that, you know what, God, these are your children. This is your vision. And you do however you want it to be done. However, this is you. I'm merely a vessel. I'm just I'm incubating this baby until you break my water. And there are women that I know that God's going to break their water on July 15th. And it won't just be, I'm believing God for even women who are believing God in the natural to give birth, that he's going to do something so supernatural to us. Like, oh my, what? The water is stirring. When God first gave me this vision, Apostle, he said the birthing pool. And I'm like, I'm not pregnant. I'm not pregnant. And he kept saying, get in the birthing pool. And I'm like, Lord, I'm not pregnant. I'm not. And at that time, I wasn't even talking to nobody. Then I had a dream that I was in the nurse said, Miss Partridge, are you ready? And I'm like, ready for what? She pulls the curtain back and I'm in a birthing pool and I'm pregnant. And I'm in the pool like this. And I'm like, whose baby is this? That's all I kept saying, because why am I pregnant? And there were people, I knew that there were 3 women that knew me because they kept saying, Jay, you got this. My apostle was in there preaching. My first lady, she came out to the pool and she said, you got to do this. You got to bear down and push. And I'm so concerned about whose baby I was carrying. But you are carrying the promise of God. Don't worry about who. Just understand that what God put on the inside of you. Mary didn't have time to ask God, well, who am I carrying? She had to carry the baby and give birth. Somebody on TikTok, you have to carry that baby and give birth. You have to carry